Hey, it's Coach Justin from Ultimate Baseball Training, and if you're struggling with hitting too many pop-ups, this video is for you. I'm gonna pinpoint 4 different things that might be causing you to hit pop-ups, and more importantly, I'm gonna share with you how to stop doing these 4 things, how to avoid them so you can start crushing more line drives instead. So I think this video is gonna really help you out. Without further ado, let's jump into it. So the first thing that could be causing you to hit too many pop-ups is you're trying to swing down on the baseball. So that's the fix. That's the thing that you want to focus on to avoid popping up. If you're currently thinking about swinging down, don't swing down on the baseball, right? Because 2 things are going to happen the majority of the time when you literally try to swing down and have a downward approach like that is you are either going to hit the ball and beat it into the ground, you're going to hit a ground ball, or you're going to barely clip the baseball, and that's going to result in a pop-up, and either way it's an out, right? If you hit a weak ground ball or if you hit a pop-up, it's probably going to be an out. You'd probably prefer to hit line drives and home runs, I'd assume, right? And so you don't want to swing down on the baseball. Instead, what you want to think about is really matching the plane of the pitch. So the pitch is coming down like this, right? Here's the ball, it's coming down like this. If we swing down, like I said, even if we hit it flush, right, where's that ball going to go? It's going to either go into the ground, or we're going to, miss-hit it, we're going to just clip it, and we're going to have too much backspin. It's going to be a pop-up in the infield to the catcher or something like that. Again, either way, it's an out. So instead of, if the ball's coming down like this, and instead of coming at it with this aggressive downward angle, right, instead, why don't the ball come down? Why don't we match the plane of the pitch and then get behind the baseball and hit it flush? Doesn't that make more sense for, great backspin and line drives? So that's the key. Don't think about swinging down. Don't think about hitting the top of the baseball. You don't want to get on top. You hear it all the time, get on top, get on top. A lot of you guys have probably been taught that, get on top. You don't want to get on top of the baseball. That's going to produce topspin. We actually want to hit the ball slightly below the equator. So if you cut the ball in half, you want to hit it slightly on the bottom part of the baseball. That's what's going to give it the good backspin that you're looking for. So don't swing down. Instead, just try your best to match the plane of the pitch. Get on plane as early as you can. You want your barrel to be behind the baseball. You want it to be approaching the ball like this. And then you want to be obviously on plane with the pitch when you hit the baseball, and then drive through the baseball. That's going to help you eliminate pop-ups. So that one's a piece of cake, easy, right? If you're currently struggling with hitting pop-ups and your goal, you're trying to either get on top of the ball or swing down, don't do that. Think the opposite, all right? Don't think, drop your back shoulder and swing up, but think about being on plane with the pitch. So that's an easy one. Let's get into the next one, the next thing that might be causing you to hit pop-ups, and that is actually the level of your shoulder. So let me show you what I mean by that, okay? So when your front foot hits the ground, this is shoulder level when your stride foot hits the ground, okay? What you ideally want when you load and then when you stride, and when your stride foot hits the ground, is you actually want your front shoulder to be slightly lower than your back shoulder. Okay, so you can see that here. You want your front shoulder to be slightly lower. And then as we get into the rotational part of our swing and we approach the point of contact, then our shoulders are actually going to switch. Then our back shoulder is going to be lower. But we want to start with that front shoulder lower. We don't want to start with, when our stride foot hits the ground, we don't want our shoulders to be level, and we definitely don't want our front shoulder to be up like this, okay? So let's go extreme here. If my front shoulder is higher than my back shoulder, my first move is going to be to drop my back shoulder big time and dump this barrel, and then when I get to the point of contact, I'm going to be underneath it and I'm going to pop up, right? And so if we know the move is, eventually when our front heel drops, we're going to have a rotational component, and our back shoulder is going to be lower at the point of contact. So if we know that this is the move here, well, then that's why we want our front shoulder to be lower, because when we make this move, our barrel actually then gets on plane with the pitch early, and then we can get behind the baseball. But if our shoulders are level, or if our front shoulder's up like this, when we make that rotational move, it's going to cause our barrel again to dump. We're going to be too underneath it, and that's going to cause us to pop up. Okay, so just think about that. Big league hitters, the best hitters in the world, their front shoulder is slightly lower, about 9 degrees. So just look at yourself, film yourself taking BP or whatever, and just when your stride foot hits the ground, see, okay, it shouldn't be like this. It also shouldn't be like this, but see if your front shoulder is slightly lower. If it is, that's going to allow you to really get on plane, get on path with the pitch really, really early and be behind the baseball. All right, so moving on to the next thing, all right, your timing. Stop being late all the time, okay? That could be causing you to hit pop-ups. And the reason why is because our brains are really, really intelligent, right? Our brains do things, we make movements throughout the day without even needing to think about it. And that's all because, you know, of our brain. How can I just pick this ball up off of the tee without even really thinking about it? You know, my brain tells my body what to do. And it's the same when you're hitting, and here's the problem with being late. So if you're consistently late, here's what's gonna happen. Ideally, I'd make contact with that pitch, you know, out in front like this, but let's say that I'm late. And so I'm late getting everything going, I'm late getting my foot in the air, right? And my brain is gonna recognize there's no way that I'm gonna be able to catch up to this pitch unless I pull my head. So if you're having trouble not only popping up, but pulling your head, look at your timing. But your brain is gonna say the only way I can hit this pitch because I'm late is I'm gonna pull my head like this. And when I pull my head like that, a lot of times it causes the barrel to dump with it, okay? Versus when your brain says, you know, I've got enough time because I'm on time and I have enough time to progress through my swing, then you're not gonna hit pop-ups, right? And so how do you cure this? How do you fix that issue? Well, what you need to focus on is if you're consistently late, get everything started earlier and get your front foot up earlier. We don't want to get our front foot down super early and kill all of our rhythm and our timing, but get everything going, not quicker, especially with harder velocity pitchers on the mound. A lot of hitters make the mistake of trying to do everything quicker. No. Same pace as if it was a slower pitcher, but just start everything sooner. Get your foot up sooner. That way it's easier to, once your foot is in the air, then you can make that move. But if you're late starting everything, and if you're late getting this front foot in the air, then that's gonna cause you to be late on the pitch. It's gonna cause you to pull your head and probably hit pop-ups. So try that out. I think that'll really help you. And then the last reason for today's video on why you might be popping up, this one's, short, sweet, simple, but it's very, very important. Don't overlook this one. But when you get to your launch position, when you load and you stride and your front foot hits the ground, you wanna make sure that your hands are at a good height. Make sure they're around shoulder height. Okay, so they should be, when you get to this position here, they should be around shoulder height. But if they're lower, you don't want them up here either, right? But the big concern with popping up is if your hands are lower like this, they're pretty much underneath the baseball, then if you're already starting out underneath the baseball, it's gonna be very easy for you to finish underneath the baseball as well. And so you wanna make sure, I don't care how you start, it doesn't matter, even in your stance, you can start with your hands down here. You see a lot of very successful big league guys start with their hands a little bit lower, but they don't keep them down here like this when their front foot hits the ground. What they do is they load and they stride, and when they get to their launch position, see this move right here? When they get to their launch position, it's like they're going up and back, and they get into a position around shoulder height. Again, all of this is gonna work together to help you get your bat on plane with the pitch, okay? So that's just a great thing to check. Look at your launch position, freeze frame your swing. Are my hands at a decent height, or are they too low? Are they starting underneath the baseball, causing my bat, everything else, to be underneath it too? Before you go, I want to share with you a brand new free gift that I created for you. It's 100% free. It's called the Contact Point Checklist. Now, this Contact Point Checklist, what I've done is I've freeze framed the swing at the point of contact, and I've highlighted the key areas that you need to focus on. So what you can do, it's 100% free. You can download this checklist and you can compare your swing and see, okay, which areas am I doing a really good job in at the point of contact, and where are some areas where I can improve. So I really think it's gonna be a powerful free resource for you, 100% free. All you have to do to download it is just click on the link below. I've included the link in the description as well as the first comment. So go there, download your free Contact Point Checklist. If you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you never miss the new videos we're putting out. And thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you next time.